history from top to bottom. This is where the team roping world talks. We talk through tough subjects, we talk big wins, and we talk real issues affecting the community. I'm your host and editor of the Team Roping Journal, Chelsea Schaefer. Hey everyone, it's Chelsea Schaefer. Welcome back to The Score. Today's episode is going to be a discussion, kind of like a round table, except no table and everybody's just talking to me. So use your imagination. But I called a whole bunch of guys to find out who they think deserves to win the Head Horse and Heel Horse of the Year awards. And this is a compilation of all of those conversations. On the head side, you're going to hear from Ren Richard, Riley Miner, Andrew Ward, Chad Masters. And on the heel side, you will hear from Levi Lord, Patrick Smith, and Joseph Harrison. And while I say these are the conversations that I've had that I've recorded, I've sent out lots of text messages and been visiting with plenty of people. Lots of people say, oh, their own horse. The generalities that I can make from these conversations is that it's wide open on the head side. Lots of good horses. Lots of different guys rode a bunch of different head horses this year, so it's making the voting a little tricky. A lot of people, as you'll hear me say in conversations, have said Junior D's horse. Junior D's horse, who is by a Lion's Share of Fame, which is an amazing stud that's in all those incentives. Lion's Share of Fame, but he is out of an Appaloosa mare, so he is an app, and so that's the same horse Junior won the BFI on, and no, that horse is not eligible for the Horse of the Year voting, which has to be a quarter horse. So on the heel side, everybody seems to be saying Logan Medlin. You'll hear some different opinions in these conversations coming up on the heel side, but the general consensus is that Logan Medlin's Drago, who is the Horse of the Year the last 2 years, is just, again, a standout this year. But then there are some diverse opinions, so I think you'll enjoy these conversations. These are really the kind of conversations that guys have in the pickup going down the road, or while they're chatting with their friends, or when I call them and bug them and ask them these kinds of questions. So these are pretty raw conversations, just some quick phone calls that I think you will enjoy, and hopefully it'll make you feel like you are in the rig. I'm headed back from Pendleton on your way to Amarillo, or maybe maybe to Pasadena, just trying to get those last rodeos in if you haven't maxed out your rodeo count. So enjoy these conversations, and I will talk to you guys at the commercial break. Today's episode is brought to you by our partners at Cactus Ropes. They have been longtime supporters of The Score. We're so grateful for that crew. I will tell you more about their latest ropes at the commercial break.
First, we're going to hear from Ren Richard.
Okay, I was calling to ask you about Horse of the Year. A bunch of people have said Ren's brown horse, and some people have said the young one. Some people have said both of his brown horses are good. Tell me about are you going to nominate one of your horses for Horse of the Year? And if so, which one? And if not, who else do you think?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. I nominated him last year, and he didn't really get much for votes, so I didn't. But I might nominate that old horse just because I did win a lot on him.
And what do you call that one? I get their names mixed up.
We call him Midnight. His registered name's Hustler Lena.
Hustler Lena. Okay, that's not Dietz is the young one, right? Or am I making that name?
Yeah.
Dietz
is the young one.
Gotcha. Where did you ride the old one? Everywhere, or not everywhere, obviously, but like.
No, I rode him like most of the winter, and I won Pinoca on him. I did good at Calgary on him. I didn't ride him a ton this summer, but it seemed like every time I rode him, we won good.
Mm-hmm. Do you have another favorite horse as far as head horses go that you don't own, that's somebody else's?
Trying to think. That horse of Clint Summers is a good horse.
Oh, yeah, the old horse transmission?
Transmission.
Mm-hmm.
I rode him at Puyallup, and he was super easy.
Yeah, I thought so. I think I only watched one set at Puyallup, but I thought that was...
I think that little bay horse of Corey Kids that Driggers had all summer is a damn good horse. I mean, they won a ton of money on that horse. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what else that hasn't already won horse of the year.
Wow, you've had different picks than everybody else, but I guess not almost everybody else, but a lot of other people said your horse, so I guess that would make sense. But
what's everybody else thinking?
I've heard some Annie. I've heard people saying Annie still deserves it. A lot of people have said Junior D's, and I've had to say, sorry, that one is not an option because it's an app. Yeah, it's been really mixed on the head side. The heel side, a lot more people think of the same horses, I think.
What do they think on the heel side?
Logan's horse and Patrick's horse.
Yeah, Patrick's horse has been good.
What do you
Bueller's
think?
horse, he hadn't got to ride him the last month, but I think he's the best horse in the world.
I love that horse, and he's old and just such a trooper. And I think, somebody, when I was, and not people that I've talked to on the phone today, but somebody I was texting said Bueller's horse, and I can't remember who it was. Has he been hurt?
Well, he was going to give him a break after Salinas. Just not for any reason, just because he wanted him to be fresh for the Northwest. And then he abscessed while he was home and had an abscess. And then one thing after that. And now it's just like, we might as well give him the rest of the year off.
Gotcha.
But he's won damn near everything that we have. He's won on that horse.
Yeah, I think every time I've talked to him, that's who he's been riding. So.
Yeah, that horse is so good.
Yeah, I gotcha. Alrighty.
Well, I wonder if I should nominate one of mine if guys are thinking.
Yeah,
they should.
Guys have definitely said your horses.
Next up is Riley Minor. You'll get to hear his thoughts on who he thinks deserves to be head horse of the year. After their phone call, he texted Chelsea and said that he thinks that Cody Snow's Annie should be in.
I was just calling a bunch of people to talk about horse of the year. Do you feel like Bob is going to be in the running this year? And if not, do you have a favorite for it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get to ride him for a while, but obviously he's still always going to be one of my favorites. But and I don't know whose horse is my favorite. Well, the one that kind of brought to my attention, which I hadn't really thought of him, and Andrew Ward called me to ask me how you nominate your horse, because he's never done it before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really know. I said, my mom does it for me. But that horse is one of the best ones, it looks like, that gets rode a lot of places, that's good in a lot of setups. Obviously Driggers, he's jumps so many horses that you can't really, which one do you want to say that he won the most on? So
yeah.
Now I could see this Frosty horse, if he doesn't sell him, I could see him next year maybe being a horse of the year type of horse, because he looks awfully good. But obviously Junior D's horse is, I kind of forgot about him. I mean,
but that one's an app, so it doesn't count.
Oh, doesn't even. Yeah, but that's one of my favorites. I mean,
yeah.
Chad's old Clint horse has just been a good horse for a long time. You know, he's rode him most of the season. Rode those others a little bit, but.
What
as far as just one head horse that, mine had about 4 weeks off, which is the longest record ever, but that was 7 years that I rode him. But Andrew rides that gray a little bit, but
Andrew said 5 rodeos he rode the gray at, as far as what was his official count. I don't know if that's official.
Really?
Or not. Yeah, that's.
I believe it. He rode him in Puyallup, and then he rode him in California at like Red Bluff, but not Clovis. But really, Rand always rides. I mean, I don't know if his young head horse would be a maybe. You know, he's a nice horse. But he's admitted, though, he's a little tricky to score, which they all are. But yeah, he rides 2 pretty much bay horses everywhere, and that young one's the one that I think he's done most of the winning on this year. But it's not the one he rode at the finals last year; it's the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if you had to look, but I would say, I mean, I do kind of like that Coleman's, that one he calls Jesse James, but he doesn't even ride it all the time either.
Yeah.
You know, he's good at rotating him a lot. Yeah, if I had to say, if it wasn't Bob, and I had to say the best head horse this year, that, I mean, obviously they win every time. The horse doesn't hardly ever screw him. I would say Andrew Ward.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Do you think you could ride Andrew Ward's horse?
I think so, yeah.
You could. Some people have said, like, man, that's the best horse, but it's just the best horse for Andrew. Like, I don't know if I could ride him. I don't know if he would fit you.
I mean, I don't see why I couldn't. But, I mean, he's maybe a little bigger than I'm used to, but he scores pretty good and hauls ass. I'm used to riding a fast horse, so I don't know. He doesn't really duck.
No?
I mean, he kind of widens, but
yeah, he
widens. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, the horse, when he was younger, honestly didn't love the horse. I thought the horse didn't look that cool and was kind of out of control. And then it's like he just all of a sudden got better and better and better. But he said he's only 10 or 11.
Maybe 12. I don't remember. Yeah. But somewhere, right in there.
Next is Andrew Ward.
What do you got going on?
I'm working on a story on who everybody's going to vote for Horse of the Year.
My phone, I can't hardly hear. Put it in the truck and see.
Oh, that's better. I can hear you crystal clear.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
So are you going to put your bay in for Horse of the Year, Andrew?
I want to, as long as I don't forget. That's the plan. I've never nominated one, so I think they email you. I've got a couple guys going to call me when it comes time. Hopefully we can get them nominated.
Yeah, hopefully. Do you think, have you ridden him at most of the rodeos this year?
Yeah, he's still what I rode him at all, but I rode him at everything, but I rode Henry at probably 5 rodeos this year.
Oh, wow.
Him at the other 70.
Yes.
And then I rode him at both VFIs, Lone Star Shootout. Trying to think what else I won on him.
The American.
The American, yeah, I roped on him at the American.
Just a little one there.
Shoot, it's funny that I forget things like that.
That's funny. Well, what other head horses have stood out to you this year? If you weren't going to nominate yours, is there another one that really stood out?
I like Snow's Dunmare Annie, whatever
Annie.
he calls her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Junior D's Sorrel, and I like Chad's Sorrel.
Doesn't have
Clint.
Oh, Clint. I was going to say, doesn't Chad have like 10 sorrels this year? But
I like, and I've always, I love Bob.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, it's hard not to love Bob. Well, and Junior D's sorrel, a lot of people have said Junior D's horse, but that horse is an app. So he's out.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well.
Yep.
I like his. I do. I like his Sorrel or app. They should let us vote for him season. But I guess it's AQHA, huh? So.
It is AQHA. That's why X can't win it, or Jackal never won it. All those. Marty never won it, which is crazy. I think Marty never won it. Yeah.
Yeah, we voted for Marty. That's a good horse. But
yeah.
Yeah, I'm planning on it though. I mean, I transferred Biscuit's name over to me so I could nominate him, and then all I got to do is now remember to do it. And I'm hoping that I'm not good. I don't know if I don't always get emails, and I think it's over email, and then I got to go through the due diligence and put them down.
Yeah.
From what I understand, so as long as I can do that, then I'm going to nominate him. And then I don't know what. I know everybody loves Biscuit. Just they've seen me lose on him for years, and then just seen the transformation of him into us winning, and so everybody loves him, and he's got a personality, and I don't know that I have no idea. I've got no. I don't know that he'll win it or anything. I just I'm going to nominate him because I think he's an awesome horse. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Next is Chad Masters.
So I wanted to ask you what horse you think will be the head horse of the year this year, and why.
Oh, boy, that's a good question. I really wish Jake Clay would get in there.
Oh.
Because I think it don't matter if he makes it or not, but that horse son's done so good for him. Mm-hmm. But, man, I don't know. I might have to have a minute on that one. Because I would hate to just jump and forget one that was been outstanding.
Are you going to
nominate Richard's horse? It's done so good, huh?
Yeah, and you're not the only one that said Ren Richard's horse. That's for sure. People have said both of his horses because he rides like two brown horses, I guess.
Well, I like them both. They've done really good.
Yeah,
they've both done very, very good.
Ren Richard has turned into it's the year of Ren Richard. Yeah,
he's really, really good, ain't he?
Yeah, and his horses are really, really good. Man, he's won so much this year.
Lightning's horse has done good. I know he's not like
the gray.
He's done good because he's only rode him, and the horse can do whatever.
Yeah,
he can run or let him reach. But no, Ren's horses are sharp, man. Both of them. They score good. They're both sharp. I like it.
All right, good. Are you going to nominate Clint?
I don't think so. I rode that one horse all winter. I won 30-something thousand on the old horse that come from Blaine Lanoweaver. Mm-hmm. It was just weird how much I won this winter on that one horse. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't bring him. I brought him out here, but he didn't do very good, so he's turned out up here at Pendleton.
I gotcha. So, just chilling.
Yep. And anyhow, I rode him half the year and then Clint the other half.
Very good. Gotcha.
Won't vote mine this year. I don't feel like none of them put in enough work to win.
Hey everybody, we're going to take a break from this episode and all of these opinions to learn a little bit more about our sponsor over at Cactus Ropes. Cactus has a reputation for making the best feeling ropes in the industry for the last 3 decades. Their latest is the Hui OG, a collab with Hui and Cactus coming October 1st. The Hui OG is an all-white nylon rope with Cortex technology, and it's a medium diameter rope with sizable crowns, allowing for sharp dallies and plenty of longevity and durability. There's been a number of victories with this rope during the testing process. It's available in all head and heel A's. So it's coming October 1st. Check them out at cactusropes.com. Now we'll get to talk to the healers. First up is Levi Lord.
Hey, I'm doing a podcast right now on who everybody thinks they're going to vote for Horse of the Year. Your poor partner, everybody keeps telling me his sorrel, and I have to break the news to them that they cannot vote for his sorrel. Yes, literally everybody, that's one of the first horses they start with, which is a nice testament to that head horse.
He's not Melissa. I think he would probably have a pretty good chance to win it if he was a AQHA, but...
Yep. Well, what heel horse have you been thinking about? Are you going to nominate your horse, or...?
I would do mine, but, and not that I think anybody else would really vote for him, just because I like him a lot, but he's not registered either.
Oh, man.
He doesn't have papers.
Who did he come from?
Paul Eves, and so I got it from. Yeah. But yeah, he's been really good for me, but he's not qualified either. But I guess for me, the couple that stand out are Patrick's Dunn and Logan's horse.
Yeah.
I'm sure those are 2 pretty popular ones for the healers.
It seems like it. It seems like those have been pretty common ones that people have. What do you like about those 2 horses? They're very different horses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Patrick's horse is something that I think I would love to have personally. You know, I think he would fit my style. He's a little bit smaller horse, really fast-footed. Looks like he can really run and just stays out of your way. Doesn't ever try to hurt you. You know, he's always trying to help you, and just looks like it makes it really easy for him. And he's rode him on pretty much every steer all year, so he's obviously pretty tough and just a really cool little horse. And then Logan's horse has just been so amazing ever since he brought him out here. He's as consistent as it gets. You know, he's rode him for dang near every, you know, he's riding some other nice young horses this year when they've got a little money one, but every time there's big money up, he rides that horse, and that horse will never screw him and gives him a chance to win every time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a cool horse, and it would be cool if I think it would be the 3rd year in a row, and it seems like just from people talking that lots of people favor that horse.
It's well deserved. I think Patrick's, what they've done this year, could probably deserve to win it just because he has rode it. Like I said, Logan has a bay horse that might end up just as good as the other one. He's been riding him some this year, a little bit green, but Patrick's rode that horse, I'm going to say 90% of the time, and got 100,000 one. So that's pretty deserving.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Levi.
Next is Patrick Smith.
I am recording a podcast today, just like calling everybody and asking them what horse they think should win Horse of the Year. And I've kind of texted everybody about this too. So, I mean, I guess so I know there have been people who have said Turbo already. Like, what are you thinking about Turbo and how he's been this year?
So, are we recording all this?
Yeah, I just hit record. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I think it may be a little bit maybe looks bad when you own the horse and you say you should win Horse of the Year. But in the past, I've always said what horse I feel like is the best, whether he's mine or not. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I thought Amigo was a great, and there's not a lot of greats. You know, Jackal was a great, and I think Turbo has the feel of a great one. He just hasn't had the the winnings and the time put in that those have. But I've ridden great ones, and he feels like a great one. And it's only happened in the last year or so with him maturing and me getting better at riding and figuring some things out about him. But to answer the question, I do believe he's the best out there. And I feel like not just because I've done good on him and because he's mine, but because of just his physical attributes. He scores, he can run, his finish, his forgiveness. He just has so many little things that are hard to find in hill horses. And he just hasn't made a mistake. And there's a lot of good hill horses out there. But like I said, I've had 10 or 12 of the best healers out there tell me they think he's the best. So, you know, he's just... I hope people will consider him. And, in my opinion, it sure wouldn't hurt my feelings to see him get the trophy because I think he deserves it. Now, else's horses, I do think there's some other really good ones. Junior's had a great year. He's got a really good horse. I like that horse. And, you know, I know Logan Medlin's done good. That horse has done good in the past. And the Horse of the Year, the other, I could name a dozen. But to me, in my personal opinion, Turbo stands out as an all-around, whether it be the NFR or the BFI. He's just he's special to where he fits just about any situation. Yeah,
absolutely. Very good. I'm glad you said Junior's horse. Do you like Timon? Is that the one that?
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I will, since we're talking about it on the podcast, he left him at home and he's riding Turbo now. He's in the rig with me right now. So obviously he thinks he's the best too. So.
I did happen to know that you two were in the rig together, so I feel like that's fitting.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Okay.
You bet.
Next is Joseph Harrison.
I was going to pull a podcast together on who everybody thinks the best horses of the year were. Do you have a favorite, or are you going to vote for one or nominate one of yours, or tell me which horses stood out to you this year?
I am going to nominate one this year. I didn't nominate one last year because it was so close and to whether I made them or not. And that bay was still just maybe a little bit green last year. Mm-hmm. So I didn't feel right about nominating mine for last year because I just didn't feel like he was the best one last year. Mm-hmm. But if I'd have rode him all year this year, I would have nominated him. He's got great, really good. Mm-hmm. But the little sorrel that I rode all year this year that I call the Governor, mm-hmm. I am gonna nominate him.
And that horse isn't very old, right?
He's 10.
Oh, he is. Okay, I was thinking he was young.
He's 10. He just got a late start in life.
Oh, that's the one. Remind me, is that the one that there was maybe a miscommunication about his age when you bought him?
Yes.
Okay, we'll just say that. Gotcha. Okay, so he's the one that gotcha. So he did the cow horse first. Is that right? Too?
Yeah, I think they started him maybe as a cutter and a cow horse or something. That place that he was at. I don't know his 100% background. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get him until Probably some kind of February-ish
of his
2020.
Yeah. Of his 7 or 8 year old year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was his 8-year-old.
His 8-year-old year, yeah. Gotcha. Where has he really excelled this year, Joseph?
What is it?
Where has he been really good this year?
Oh, just everywhere, really. I wrote him, honestly, fall was stuff in the winter. I hadn't seen him a whole lot. He called me one day right before I was headed back down there to the second round of Fort Worth. He said, man, where? And he said, what about the governor? I ain't nowhere. I said, well, I just didn't think he was ready for this kind of rodeo. And he kind of talked me into riding him at Fort Worth that night. I won the round on him. And then I pretty much rode him everywhere since. I mean, the only time that I rode anything different is when we had to send one somewhere and fly to meet him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the only time I've rode a different one.
Has anybody else ridden him?
No.
Kept him to yourself?
Just me, really. I had a couple of guys catch ride him at like some little rodeos and stuff before he kind of became my number one. Mm-hmm. And nobody. Man, there hadn't been a whole lot of guys catching rides and stuff this summer. I mean, we have some places. I flew to San Juan and caught a ride on Hunter Cook's little horse, Casino. Mm-hmm. And but other than that, I mean, everybody's pretty much kind of rode their own stuff. It's been pretty easy. I don't care if somebody rides him. I just ain't had nobody ask. I don't care.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Up next is Wesley Thorpe. Chelsea talked with him after she recorded the intro to this podcast, so you'll get to hear his top picks for Heel Horse of the Year. After they talked, Wesley texted Chelsea and said that he forgot about Patrick Smith's Turbo, who would be his top choice.
Hey, Chelsea, how are you?
Good. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just at Pendleton.
I see.
Yeah.
I was just calling because I was recording a podcast with a bunch of different guys about what horses they think should win Horse of the Year. Do you have a favorite heel horse this year?
Honestly, I'm going to be a little bit partial to my black because I've rode him so hard all summer and he's done really good. So I would probably have to put him up there for sure.
Did you ride it? Yeah, you rode him most of the year, or what was
I rode him this winter, and then I let him have like the spring off, and then I rode my sorrel all spring, and then since I left for the summer, I rode him like 95% of the time.
I see. And did you if you didn't pick him, do you have another favorite if you weren't going to nominate yours?
Yeah. I like Logan Medlin's horse a lot. I rode him one time before, and then that would be my favorite. I've ridden Logan's one time before and watching him go. He's really good every time.
How old is your black these days, Wesley?
My black is 13.
And that's Ray J, right? Is that what we call him?
Yes.
Ray J. Gotcha. And that's the horse. It's not you won the world on Lex, correct?
I won the world on Lex.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. But you've ridden the black for, 3 or 4 years now?
3. Yeah, I've had him 3 years now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that is what I needed, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening to this episode, and thank you to Cactus Ropes for bringing it to us.